All
How's it
right,
going
all right,
today,
all
man?
right. How we
Uh,
feeling, Ali?
Feeling good after the game, for sure. How about you?
Oh man, feeling amazing, dude. I can't believe that Stu Skinner came through with another shutout. Is that the only way the guy's gonna win games now? Shutouts?
I know it's insane. His
And it
stat
seems
line
like
is just,
it
it's
seems like the Oiler
incredible.
Nation only love him when he's got shutouts. I mean, that's the standard for Stu Skinner now. It's like you either shut him up or we're gonna be critical of you, man. You let in one goal, it's a bad goal.
Well, we were joking about that yesterday, right? Like if you look at his stat line, it's like 4, 3 and 4, like 872 save percentage. I don't know what his goals against averages, but it's in the high threes and 3 shutouts. Right? It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I mean, the games that he's lost, they've all been at least 4 goals or more. So like the Oil have to score 5 or more. I know there's a running joke that I've seen online and various chat rooms and whatnot. Is like, oh, for us to win when Stu's in, we got to score at least 5 or more. But you look at the losses and it's been 5 goals, 5 goals, 4 goals, 6 goals.
To score like 7 or more.
I mean, Kelly Rudy was saying yesterday, this guy's got to write a book on what
Yeah.
what goes between the ears.
Yeah, I saw that. It's hilarious. It's there's a guy on ESPN too. I think he was saying he was calling him the bipolar complex or something like that. I thought that was
Me,
pretty funny.
myself, and Irene, buddy. Me, myself, and Irene. Like I say.
Yeah. But you had quite the adventure today. Lost your wallet.
Oh, dude.
Still haven't been able to find it.
Is there a worse feeling than losing your wallet?
Oh, losing with 0.4 seconds left, right up there.
Yeah, touche. I guess so. Yeah, it's right up there, man. But I mean, it gives me an opportunity to kind of shave the old Gandalf the Grey and look a few years younger on my new IDs and stuff like that. My driver's license. Wife's going to be happy, and that's all that matters, right?
Well, I hope it gets turned in. I mean, it's still early. Maybe somebody found it and we'll turn it in. Let's see. Do you
Fingers
have any? Do
crossed.
you have your number or anything in there? The business card?
I might have my number in there. Nobody's called me yet, so maybe nobody's found it. Or maybe it's laying around somewhere around the house, man. I mean, I've looked everywhere, but yeah, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. It's not the first time I've lost the wallet.
Yeah, I hear you. I haven't lost one in a while, but I've lost one before, and it's anxiety. It's exactly the same as sitting there with, like, if Nurse had been called for 5 minutes, I'd put it right up there with that, right? The
You know what it
anxiety.
is? It's a Gen X thing carrying a wallet because I go out for coffee and stuff. Nobody takes out a wallet. They got their phone. It's like beep. I tried doing that and I got some cards saved up in there, but I don't know, man. I just doesn't feel natural. I gotta have the wallet. Maybe it's a generational thing. I don't know.
Well, then what if you lose your phone? Right?
Exactly. Right. I guess
So
leave the wallet at home, and if you lose the phone, you get another phone. You just nobody can get into the phone, but the wallet, you're naked, man. They got everything.
yeah, they got everything. The thing with the phone, apparently it's a lot more secure
Yep.
Than actually the actual card. Although some of these new merchant services and whatnot, they are getting more secure. But using the tap feature on your phone,
Yeah.
it changes up the code of your actual whatever your numbers and whatever. Right?
It's a sign. Maybe I got to get with the times, man. This Gen X thing.
You get 2 phones, one just for your for your credit cards and stuff, and tapping, and the other one's your actual phone.
Not a bad plan. Look at
Keep the
that.
wife off of your case that way too, right? Anyways,
Oh,
man.
dude. So about the game, are you surprised? 3-0. Nuge comes big again. Clutch. Love that guy.
Well, I am surprised. I felt though, yeah, Nuge. I mean, early. If you're looking at it from a Dallas perspective, I think they're thinking that it was a game of bounces.
Yeah.
But you kind of create your own bounces, right?
Solid game, man. Start to finish.
When you were watching the game, did you feel that we played better in game 1 versus game 2?
I think maybe the first 2 periods, yeah. I think that we did play. We were a little bit more in control. There were times, but I think Dallas was aware they were going for the jugular, right? They were trying to get a 2-0 lead, and they were playing better than they did in game 1. So they were attacking a little bit more. They were a little bit more engaged that way. I think the shock of how much quicker the Oilers were in game 1 is kind of sunk in. Yeah, you saw the clip of I think it was Harley when McDavid blew by him. He goes back in the bench and he's like, "Oh shit, man! What was that?" And he was rolling his eyes like, "There's no way." So I think it's they've kind of adjusted their game a little bit to keep up with the Oil. But I mean, to no avail. The Oil are that much better. I mean, I'm looking at it, and we got a solid team, man.
We'll dive into that a little bit more. A couple things I wanted to chat about off the bat is the special teams. They put up the numbers of the remaining 4 teams,
Yeah.
and everyone but us are over 100 in their combined PK versus power play percentages, and we're at like 80 something. We're like career, not career, but generational low in terms of our special teams. It's the exact opposite of last year.
Hey, this is what we are. This is like feast or famine is what Rashok said about Skinner. I'm like, dude, the entire special teams is like that. You go from generational best. Last year we won like what? Nobody scored in 14 power plays against the Oilers in the final, right? I think it was
Dallas didn't score. They were 0 for 14. Our
crazy.
our combined metrics was 97%. If you took into account our shorthanded goals versus power play goals, it was 97% effectiveness. But it's crazy. When our special teams, when we're winning with special teams, the narrative has always been, the 5-on-5 play. Now we're dominating 5-on-5 play. I think we're plus 10. I'm not sure what the metrics are, but they're pretty good, and we're plus 10 5-on-5. And now it's the special teams that's an issue. But last night, right off the bat, first 5 minutes, power play, boom, get a goal. Great deflection there by Nuge. And again, bounces for sure. It was a bounce, but we were going to the net, and we were, I don't know, sometimes I feel like you create those bounces, right?
Well, yeah, we were pushing the whole game. I mean, the shots weren't outrageous, but I think the actual chances were pretty good chances when we got them. I still get annoyed when we have an open shot and the guy doesn't take the shot. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Take the shot. But
when the game ended, 1 for 5, nothing special, 20% still okay, but we got the goal when it mattered. And right off the bat, you knew right away we're gonna get a penalty. Corey Perry, I think that was. I mean, I don't know, undisciplined penalty, but arguably a weak call as well. I don't know. And boom, we're PKing.
Yep.
And we killed it off, right? I think we were 1 for 5 and 2 for 2 on the PK, right? I think Dallas only had 2 power plays, or was there more? No, there's more. Did they only have 2?
Yeah, I think they only had a couple. I mean, the Darnell thing, right? And
so it was Nurse, and then the first period. Didn't they get one in the second as well, or no? I guess they didn't.
Now you're gonna make me pull up the box score. We're looking at amateurs now, bro. But yeah, no, I mean, whatever it was, we did pretty good. It was better than game 1. I think there was a little bit more urgency. They were not standing around, which is what I said after game 1, is that for the most part they were watching, Dallas just pass it around. There were some bad bounces too, man. I mean, let's be honest. It wasn't they got some lucky bounces and whatnot, but game 2 was not. It was a little bit more like urgency. They knew they couldn't. The number of shots we blocked, like solid. Yeah. I mean, shout out to Frederick taking a last couple of seconds in the period, in the third period, and he takes a hard shot off the knee. I mean, even Skinner, held him for a while, hugged him and kissed him and thanked him for saving his shutout. But that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take, right?
Absolutely. I feel like, Bouchard blocked one. Hopefully he's okay. We didn't see him in the end stages there, but a 3-0 game. Maybe they're just like, okay, you know what? Let's not send him out there again. Yeah. But with respect to the first period, the first kill, I felt like in game 1 when we had that first kill, we killed it off. Dallas couldn't even gain the zone, right? I think we were doing some stuff, but then I think they made an adjustment. I'm not sure quite what it was, but it just seemed like they were breaking in easy. I'm not a super big fan of the way that our forwards sort of rotate back and forth. We send a forward out, and then he flushes back, and then we send another forward out. I feel like if we're not on point there, that's when we can sort of get picked apart and exposed a little bit when it's not working. I was thinking maybe we want to play more of a box, but just the way this power play is set up, they don't really have any big point shots or anything like that. But I mean, it worked, right? And
keep it to the outside and don't block Skinner's view. Don't three people don't stand in front of him, and as long as he can see it, hopefully he can stop it.
I like the way the D played. There was definitely more battle, and like you said, I think there was a bit more urgency. And same thing with Skinner. We'll touch on Skinner in a second once we finish up the special team stuff. I just want to go to our power play though. I feel like we start off with movement, and there's been people saying we've got broken plays and we've got some of our goals just come off broken plays. I feel like that's when our power play actually thrives, is when we have some people running around and we've got to win a puck battle and then make a move in just on instinct. Right now, I feel like we're very, very stagnant. We did score a goal, but the rest of the power plays, we had that 5-on-3. We couldn't. First of all, we couldn't win a face-off, and I feel like we're just standing around. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like we're not moving. And there's no sense of. I don't even know if it's urgency. I think it's confidence. I feel like we've lost.
I mean, it could be. Let's give credit where credit's due. Dallas is playing this well. I think there's been obviously a lot of. We've been doing this power play thing for a while now, right? So the teams have a playbook on us on how Bush is going to drop it back, and Connor's going to rush it in, and Wade's going to come through. They just don't let us set up anymore.
We do, but generally, our power play, if you look at it, together, right? Like home and away, it's not bad. Our power play at home is like 50%. Our power play on the road is like not very good.
Yeah.
So I mean, overall it's okay, but I think more than anything, we got a goal and we got the game winner off the power play. And it's not really, I guess what I'm saying, it's when we've got a puck over the glass by the goaltender penalty,
Right.
we just have to put him away there, right? And we can't lose the face off and then get out battled in our own end and almost cough up the puck, and then like McDavid has to like come back and like waste time so we don't get scored on and dump it in the corner before the period's over, right?
Right. Right.
That's kind of where I'm going with it, and I'm not sure if it's a confidence thing, or if they figured it out. I mean, even in the past, we weren't just a one-trick pony. We were trying to get it over across to Draisaitl. That was our main play. But once somebody took that away, we had a whole bunch of other wrinkles and stuff. And
That's completely out the window right now, man. I mean, Dry's not even taking slappers. I don't know if it's maybe still a nagging injury or what it is, but he's not taking the slappers from there anymore. You know what I mean?
well,
And the ones that he has taken, he's missed.
well, I mean, McDavid also is not getting it through, right? He
Right.
usually was able to get it through, and I mean McDavid as well. He's rushing and coming through. And last night he had a couple good opportunities. Short-handed, he hit the crossbar. But I feel like he's shooting at the as a last resort. He's not shooting either, right?
Right.
And I'm not sure if there's something going on injury-wise there as well. But I mean, I've been feeling the same way since he scored 64 goals, right? It feels like since then he took a hack to the hand, and he's been like a last resort shooter at since then. That was what, like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah, wait and see. I mean, but if we're winning these games and we're playing stronger on the defensive side, I'm all for that. If McDavid and Dry are not going to be leading the league by like 20 points in the playoffs, so be it. I think they've kind of figured that out, that that's not a recipe. Although we got to the finals last year, I think they're conserving a little bit of energy for Florida. That's looking ridiculous. What happened to Carolina, man? Let's talk about that. But anyway, I think they're in much better shape to play the defensive game right now. Forget about the stats. This is working. Let's keep it going. Two
Yeah,
more
no,
wins in Edmonton, bro. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for.
you could just hear McDavid as well in the after the interview after the game. He was like, "Look, we're not as run and gun as we used to be. We're a bit more defensive. We're doing whatever it takes to win. Sometimes you're up 3-0, you got to kill a period. I think Dallas had 2 shots in that period, right?
Right.
I'll take it, right? Let's circle back to goaltending. So,
Your favorite.
Skinner, he got a shutout. The one thing I will say before I let you go is there was one thing that I appreciated from last night's game. I mean, we can talk about the puck handling and like the mishandles and all of that crazy stuff. I feel like there's a lot of plays. Even Kelly Rudy agreed with this: is you should not be making the plays that you're going up making, these bad reads. There was Stetcher coming in and he's about to win the icing call and he ran out and like almost turned that one over. The thing that stood out for me the most though, and I appreciated, was he was battling. Mm-hmm. And I know, going all the way back to Mike Smith being a battler, I feel like that was different from game one. He was more willing to, make that effort, if you will. Like there was one where, he did almost cough it up, but he out of desperation, even that one that he came across and everyone's going gaga about, that was because he was selling out to try and get over there. And he actually read it for once, which was fantastic, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I'm okay with it. If he's gonna do somersaults to stop that puck, man, if he can see it, And the thing is, though, I also think that at some point in that game, Dallas started like second guessing how are they going to beat him, because if he can see it, for the most part, Skinner's going to stop it. Let's be like, I know he could have read the play better, he could have like kind of angled himself in game one a little bit better, whatever it may have been. But for the most part, if he can see it, he's going to stop it.
Well, that, but also we were getting in the lanes. Like I don't want to take anything away from him. He got a shutout. He played well. Yeah. I don't think that was his AAA game. I don't think that was his A game. I think it was a B. I'm going to give him a B for that. But we got in front of those lanes, and it was very interesting. Like, it almost reminded me of some of the games that we played against Vegas, back in 23, where we feel like we've got all this zone time and we're dominating, but we only got like one shot through, right? And Dallas did have zone time and they had pressure. Ratton and came in and looked scary a little bit, but then he circled back to the outside, or he had to make a pass to guy who had to come back and he had to flutter a shot from the point and stuff, because we were getting in. We looked very, very desperate in front of our net. And I mean, I feel like we have to give the defense credit as well. Again, like I said, I'm not trying to take anything away from Skinner.
Yeah.
But I mean, the next point as well, like Dallas has been shut out 4 times in these playoffs. I was a little bit surprised. I knew this was the 3rd time in a row in their losses that they've been shut out.
Yeah.
I think Colorado shut them out in one of the games as well, so that's 4.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, Jamie Benn's not going right now. Doesn't seem he's doing much. He's kind of quiet. I hardly notice him, right? Usually he's a presence, if not scoring, at least physically. But right now, it's like, don't poke him. Just leave him alone. He's just floating around like a balloon, and that's great. And then you got Robertson not doing anything, which is great. Let him float around. I know he's been active trying to get out there, but these are the guys in the past who've been against the Oilers. At least they've been very active. They've been oil killers, man.
For sure. But jokes aside, I mean, there is this running joke we were talking about last night. If they score, it's over, right? They lose, and they lose by shutouts, right? I'm not like, it was a good win, and I feel like we outplayed them in their own home barn, 5.5 out of 6 periods.
Yeah,
we did outplay them. However, we're not out of the woods yet. This team is very opportunistic.
Yeah.
They're probably the most opportunistic team that's left right now.
Yeah.
And coming home tomorrow, afternoon game, I don't know. Like, we'll talk more about tomorrow's game and what we think is going to happen. But just in general, I feel, just looking at this, Dallas just seems to be extremely opportunistic. And I mean, what do you think? I mean, I didn't watch a ton of the other series against Winnipeg and against Colorado, but I did. There was 2 games in particular that I remember tuning quite a bit into with the Winnipeg series, and they had no business winning those games, but they ended up winning those games, and it was because Ottinger outplayed the other goaltender, right?
And he played well against the Oil last night too. I mean, he took some chances. Like, I mean, he made some saves. That game could have been, like, I think, in my estimation, could have been at least 5-0, which was kind of like your prediction. But he made some pretty good saves for the Stars, right?
He did make some saves. We also hit a bunch of posts. And
yeah, what's up with that, man? There's got to be a stat on that. Like, the Oilers have to be leading the entire league, and the number of posts we hit.
Absolutely.
And also the number of empty nets we miss. It's
yeah. Well, that empty netter, though, how is that not an automatic goal?
I mean, I thought it should have been.
He gets his sticks just smashed out of him while he's about to put it in.
It should have been. It should have been. Yeah.
If you're going to throw your stick, that's an automatic goal, right?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody talked about that. I wasn't paying attention. I was irate, so I didn't.
I think the broadcast was saying that should be an automatic. Simpson was saying it should have been a goal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would Michael say anything, but it's not Michael's, it's Cuthbert, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, and just circling back to Skinner for a second, I know we wanted to talk about his weird stat line, right? Insane. Did we cover that already? I don't think we did, right?
Yeah, it is crazy, but I mean, I'll take it. If this guy can show some level of consistency, what he needs? I think he's the kind of goalie you just can't leave. You can't hang any goalie out to dry, but there are some guys out in the league that will save you, right? If your team leaves you out to dry, like, you will make 1 or 2 or 3 like 5 bell saves and keep the team in it. I don't think that for the most part he's not that guy. He'll give you a solid goaltending performance, but you got to help the guy out. You got to clear the lanes for him. You got to block a few shots. If you keep the shots under 30, he's performed well. If it's under 30,
in all of these games, I think the most shots he's ever faced is 25, and he's either letting in 4 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals, or no goals.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just the weirdest stat line.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's I think it was Rob Brown last night. Postgame was talking about Picard and how Picard's numbers weren't extravagant. He was at 880 something. I just feel like timeliness. And last night he made some timely
exactly.
saves, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing. This league is too good. There is the other side's pretty good. You got to be decent to get here. They're going to get some opportunities. We just need a bit. I mean, case in point, right before Kulak's goal, huge save, right? He made a huge save, and we went back off the rush and scored. And that's another thing interesting. I mean, we didn't really talk about this much, but our off the rush chances against these guys, we're not really we gave up a breakaway to Sagan. We gave up a short-handed breakaway when we had like towards the end there, and I think it was Klingberg who coughed it up. But other than that, we're not really giving up 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s. Like that second goal, and the third goal, and the goal that led to, or the play that led to the penalty that Ottinger took. we had daylights for like 10, 15 seconds just coming back. McDavid's turns around, takes a look. He's like, I think I'll pass it to Kulak right now, right? Tons of time, right?
Yeah.
And we're just not giving that up the other way. And hopefully that continues because
Yeah.
we don't want to get into that sort of thing
We'll
with
need that
Dallas.
against Florida.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like LA in the first couple games, that's what was happening. And they had their shooters, and that's when they picked Stu apart, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, all in all, good, man. The tomorrow's game, 12 o'clock afternoon game, like McDavid said, everybody's in the same boat. I mean, Dallas is going to be playing that too. I haven't kind of dived into the stats to take a look, but I think historically we're not a great team in the afternoons. But I'm hoping that they use some of the coach's comments about about what happened towards the end of the game, the slashing call on Nurse, and then what
That's what I
after
was
the game.
thinking.
Yeah,
That's what I
pretty
was
funny, man. I
thinking.
hope that fuels the team a little bit more. Like, I hope they don't try to come after McDavid because Marchman also said that, when the right opportunity comes or something along those lines, that he was going to do something. Like, really?
I didn't listen to him, but I did hear that he said that he thought Nurse had intent to injure.
Yeah.
And come on, your guy leads with a cross check. Nurse is pissed, and like that's just a natural reaction. I mean, it was a.
I mean, come on. I've looked at that like from different, like over and over and over again, dude. By the time Nurse slashes the guy, he's only got one hand on the stick. How hard could he have freaking slashed him?
I'll put it to you this way: I have Canuck fan friends out here who texted me. I know who texted me. They're watching the game and they're like, "That was that even? I wouldn't even give him two, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a penalty, but yeah, like if he doesn't dive and go onto the ground, is that even gonna get called, right?"
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but I hope the guy's okay. I was thinking if this guy gets if he manages to fool the refs, and I'm glad, you know what? Shout out to the refs, man. They went into the review, they looked at it, they saw what we saw. Okay, it's a 2-minute because he slashed him. Maybe he's hurt, maybe he's not. Well, what have sucked is we get a 5-minute and the guy comes back on the power play. How many times has that happened? That pisses me off to no end.
That's happened so many times. That happened. I can't remember when it happened, but it happened very recently in like the last season and a half or so. But I just want to track back to the coach's comments. So when he said what he said, I was laughing. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" But after the game, I think it was Rashad who found the rule book, and he pointed out that when there's an injury that happens on a slash, the refs have to call a 5-minute and a game, and they have discretion. I guess they did call the 5-minute to go and review it, and they used their discretion, which is great. And further to what you were saying, like, okay, there's an injury, so you have to call the 5-minute, but what if he's faking the injury? And do you think that there's a little bit of history there?
Well, I don't know. I was reading earlier today, NHL.com is reporting that Heinz is questionable for Game 3. He might not play. Maybe he buckled a knee or something. I have no idea. I mean, they can't possibly be trying to like maybe get calls in their favor with the refs or something by him not playing. But I don't understand. I mean, I don't see it. I've seen slashes where, like, the Draisaitl. Who was it? That was the against the Vegas team. Yeah, dude, like Angel double hand, like over the head, slash to the arms, and the guy keeps playing. I think of Darnell slashing this guy with basically one arm, and he goes down like a sack of bricks. And I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I'm not really sure whether I'm going to give them a pass on they wouldn't posture. Looking at Dallas, they're getting caved this year, 5-on-5, right?
Yeah.
Colorado, Winnipeg, first 2 games with us. Maybe the coach is vying for a power play, right? And vying to get more calls next game. I don't know. But there's another part that they mentioned McDavid and going after McDavid. Maybe because he just got right back up, but on that power play, Blackwell, why didn't anybody say anything about that?
Yeah, exactly.
He did get a penalty, but that, I mean, in my opinion, that was more blatant than what happened with Nurse, because Hintz instigated that with a cross check to the back of his, like you saw Darnell go down. He doesn't go down easy, right? He wasn't expecting. He got right in the back, and he's like, and his head, kind of snapped back, and he turned around out of anger. Versus a guy coming through the zone, and this guy's on the PK, and he tries to I don't think he tried to undercut him, but he definitely tried to get on him, and he was like, you don't do that, right? That's not safe. So if there's anything like, I mean, what about that? And is it because McDavid doesn't sit on the ice for 3 minutes and doesn't need like a stretcher to leave, right? I mean, I don't know, right?
Yeah, he's not. despite of what your Canuck fan friends are saying, and some of the other fan bases say about McDavid, and they call him various names about complaining to refs or prolonging his injuries on the ice. I've never seen that. The guy just pops right back up and he keeps going. I remember when he broke his collarbone, man. I mean,
He got up and
he
left
got
the
up
ice,
and he skated off, right?
and he sat on the bench. He didn't
Yeah.
want to leave.
Yeah, imagine if a stretcher came out and took him out. Maybe Manning would have been suspended a few games, but the guy got nothing. He got
He didn't
nothing for
get a
that.
penalty, I don't think. Yeah.
Unbelievable, right? And people are here complaining about McDavid. And anyway, I just think
I
that,
saw though. I think Perry and Draisaitl went over to Blackwell and said something to him. Like they gave him an earful, which is good. But you got to. I mean, I'm sure Frederick, Kane, Nurse, these guys all have long memories, right? You don't want to mess.
Yeah, but I mean, again, there was a segment in the after hours where they were showing after the game how Perry pulled back when he was hit. Kane, man, he got cross-checked from behind, and he didn't say anything. He got up, he got the guy's number, and Kapanen too, right? He didn't do anything.
Kapanen
That's what we got to do, man.
But Kane got that guy earlier. Kane also went in that rat, and he didn't have him perfectly lined up, so he just got a piece of him. Didn't get out of flow. Just went in and kind of curled back out. And, I mean, that's the discipline that we need going forward.
Yeah, dude. And, looking forward to the game tomorrow. It's going to be a huge one. 12 o'clock. Oh man, I can't wait, but I'm glad it's happening a lot sooner.
So it's 1 your time, 1 local time in Edmonton, and 12 Pacific, right? Yeah, crazy. So what do we need to do tomorrow? What do you think's gonna? I know you just mentioned before we jump back into Nurse, the abysmal afternoon record. We're gonna have to change that up. I think in recent years though we haven't been that bad, but not being that bad is like we're 500.
Yeah.
So there's a few things, right? 2 games in less than 24 hours, right? Is that right? In less than 48 hours, right?
That's right.
And I mean, we saw some guys take some hits. Bouchard, like I said, I don't think I saw him the last 3 minutes. What do we do? Do we first off, what's it going to take tomorrow? Ice is going to be better, hopefully. Won't see as many bobbles.
Yeah, the puck's bouncing all over the place in Dallas, man. I mean, there were at least a couple of opportunities where the puck just bounced right over the stick. One was for a dry when the pass came over to him, and he was ready to just bury it, and the puck just
like
right over, right? Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to the ice at home. Excited, man. I'm also keeping an eye on the other side there. I don't know what Carolina's doing. Is Florida really that much better? I mean, is Florida really that much better? Yeah, it was 1-0. I think they're still at least they're doing a little bit better on the road than they did at home.
12 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second right now.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep going. And then we can watch the rest of that game.
Yeah, buddy. So
it's just what we were saying. Like, so what do you think we need to do tomorrow? Do you think that we see any lineup changes? Would you make any lineup changes?
Ekholm might be showing up, which is huge, right? I think Stetcher last game again, and that's the name that keeps coming up as a guy who might be going out.
Stetcher was great last game.
And he was great, man. He fights. That guy's a fighter. He did really well. But if Ekholm comes in, I mean, that's the only major change. We didn't make any other changes, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of changes to the lineup other than Ekholm, right?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know if Ekholm's going to be ready. I was thinking first off, before we jump into that, I just want to say a couple things about Stetcher. The guy was with the Canucks, and I remember I was watching this guy, and I mean, I think you were here too, and we had this chat about it. The guy plays like he's 6'2", right?
Yeah.
He's got no fear, and he battles against everybody. I feel like I liked him even when he was on Calgary, even when he was in LA. I liked him.
Yeah.
I felt though that he's got more more shelter here, playing with quote unquote better guys, which is helping him. But man, the guy wins battles, and I agree with everything everybody says. He sees the ice really well. He makes great plays. If he was 6'2", man, I feel like that guy would be like a top 20 defenseman in the league. The guy's phenomenal.
Props to him, man. He's got a heart of a lion. Love the guy. I'm glad he's drawing into the lineup, unlike your favorite player, Jeff Skinner. At least he's getting some opportunities.
When I saw those line rushes yesterday. But back on to Skinner Arvidsson, Connor Brown, right? He's still not 100%. He played really well. He got a goal, killed some penalties. He's been skating, but he's got a sore foot. With the timeline, do we make that kind of a change? Do we bring one of these guys in? They asked Knobloch that, and he's like, I need to talk to the staff. He didn't commit to anything, but that's sort of the same thing he was saying. So I would not be surprised if we saw some tinkering. I guess we're gonna have to see what
Should be
happens.
fine because you got the sixth man, which is the crowd in Edmonton, right?
Yeah,
And we obviously the crowd's always really loud, and they drive the team. And the team's admitted saying that they've actually mentioned several times over the playoffs in the interviews that going home to their crowd and the cheers and that really helps, which is awesome. So even if there are some minor changes made here and there, I think they're going to feed off the energy in the crowd. I think it's critical that they get up on this team again and have them chase a little bit. And I think we need to get into we need to get into the for the you know extended period in the playoffs. We've always come from behind, and it's always like we're down in the first, second, or
yeah.
it's refreshing to take the lead and kind of hold on to it and let the other team chase. And I think that's going to be critical. It seems to me that it's going to be Florida in finals, just based on what's going on right now. But if it is them, they're the team that once they get the lead, they just shut it down. I mean, there's like five guys standing at the blue line, right? And two guys go back and play goal with the goalie, so you got nothing to shoot at. We need to get
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We still have
I'm all over that.
but I think advantage for the Western Conference, no matter who gets out, hopefully we do. We get home ice, right? Whoever in the Western Conference is going to get home ice. That might tip the scales a little. You don't know.
Yeah.
I agree with you though. I think our crowd. I've heard the fans or the players talk about that. It's a great atmosphere. What's interesting, Dallas has a great atmosphere as well, but the crowd, I think it's a lot easier to take them out. They lose the wind in their sails.
Like
when
the Canucks crowd.
Yeah, that's another point for another time. So what do you think is going to happen? You think we're gonna? I think we got to keep up the pace. I think we got to get the lead early. We got to stay out of the box. Same formula. I do think though that we need to be a little bit more aggressive in the sense that we gotta when we get the opportunity, we gotta lay out their D. We gotta lay out high Skinner. Right?
Yeah, I agree with you on that, but on the flip side of it, I think that if the formula right now is working, where we're playing defensive cautious a little bit and not risking those pinch-ins by the D, and we're not really taking, I'm okay with that, man.
You want to stay within the game.
Yeah.
You don't want to be going out of your way to smash somebody.
That's right. That's right.
But I think we got to be more mindful of when there's an opportunity to seize it. With that said, again, last night was the first time all playoffs that we had more power plays than the other team, and we've carried the play.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We only scored one.
Well, I mean, we got one. It mattered, and then we killed a bunch of them off.
Yeah.
Our power play would be the best penalty kill.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking keep it tight the way it is. I do think we're going to come out with a win. I think that Dallas. I want to say they have another gear, but really, man, last game they were pushing. They were trying their hardest. When I listen to a lot of these commentators talking about the depth of other teams, and they talk about the play of the other teams, and when they're criticizing, they criticize the other team. Oh, they didn't have it tonight, and they
how about giving them some credit?
Yeah, give the Oilers some credit, man. For heaven's sake, like maybe the Oilers are just playing better, and I could sense the frustration in McDavid's interviews and Draisaitl saying, we are playing good D, and I have to admit, collectively as a team, they're doing well.
I don't want to get too overconfident, because as Knobloch said the other day, you think you've got it figured out and you get humbled really quickly. But I do still feel, and Rob Brown, I mean, a lot of people laughed at what he said, but I do kind of agree with him. I feel like the toughest test so far has been LA, and it's because of they're fast, they're dynamic, they got a solid goaltender. Brown seems to think that we matched up better against Vegas and we matched up better against Dallas. If Dallas faced Vegas, he feels like Dallas would have beat Vegas, but he doesn't feel Dallas matches up well with us. And I mean, who knows? I don't, again, like I said, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I do think we come out and we win. A friend of mine sent me a hot prediction yesterday, and he was like, we win the next 4, and including yesterday's game. Fingers crossed that happens. I do think.
Hey, I like your friend. I like the way he thinks, and I'm on that boat, man. I'll take it.
But if he's going to watch this, he's probably going to kill me because he told me not to say it because he doesn't want to sound too cocky and get ahead of himself.
Oh, right? He believes in the jinx and all of that, eh?
Superstition. He's probably still wearing the boxers from last night.
Hey, you know what? I think I am. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I know you're the voice of reason, although most of the time it's me. But I'm going to say that I feel good about the team's chances to try and nip this. I think the team knows that too. What's the point of winning one on the road if you can't close the ones at home? I mean, you got to do it, and you got to put your foot on the gas here. I don't want this to stretch out to 7 games, to be honest with you, because on the other side, if Florida gets their wins in, they get an extended time to rest. Reinhart's out for tonight's game because he was injured. I know Kachuk's playing hurt, which is great news if they make it to the finals. You don't want to give those guys ample time to recover. Let's
I agree. It would be amazing if we were done by Thursday. Of
Yeah.
course, if we're on the winning side, right? Otherwise, right? So we'll see. I mean, tomorrow night we'll see what happens, or tomorrow afternoon we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I think we win. I think we win probably. I'm gonna say 4-2 or 4-3. How about you?
Oh wow, you're calling it close. I think it's going to be like a 4-1 game tomorrow, man. I think the Oilers are really going to crank it out, and I think Ekholm's going to make an impact if he's playing. And if he's not, that's okay. The crowd's going to make an impact. Yeah, I think that it's going to be an Oil win, and it's going to be a convincing win. It's not going to be a close one. I think that Dallas knows they've got everything they can handle. All four lines are firing right now, and I'm happy to see that.
Yeah. I'm worried about Bouchard a little bit. Like I said, we didn't see him the last few minutes, so hopefully he's
Right. We didn't talk about that.
His mom's got like the hot whatever the thing, and he's like resting. He's got his feet up. Mom's taking good care of him tonight.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I guess we'll tune in tomorrow, and then we'll do this again. Hopefully, we'll be smiles. Hopefully, you find your wallet.
Yeah, dude, I'll keep you posted on that, and everybody who's concerned.
All right, buddy. Let's sign off, and then we'll chat again tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan, man. Yeah, let's catch up tomorrow, and yeah, stay positive, all the nation. I think we're gonna do this.
All right, buddy. We'll talk soon. Take care.
Buddy. Take care, man.